Hey guys, AussieSC here, bringing you some more Heart of the Swarm action. This time we're casting some games from the Seat Story Cup, hosted by Take TV very recently. Now it's a fantastic series, and one of the reasons we wanted to cast is lately on the channel we've been seeing quite a lot of Protoss vs Terran games, or even a whole stack of PvP games. And for those of you who watched the IEM World Championships recently, I don't know, you're probably feeling a little bit like I am in that we have been seeing a heck of a lot of Protoss lately. So I thought we'd mix it up a little bit and bring you some VZZ and some ZvT action. So here in the top of the left hand corner of Habitation Station, it's going to be My Insanity's Jjakji, and in the top right hand corner, as our Blue Zerg player, it's going to be Hyun from Team Rokat. So map is of course Habitation Station. Both these players duking out for an opportunity to make their way into the final, and I've got to say, looking forward to seeing both these players play. We've seen some great play out of Jjakji recently, particularly since entering 2014. He's really been giving us a show in some of those games. Played well in all his recent events, and here in the semi-finals of the Seat Story Cup. So no, quite excited to see how Jjakji goes in 2014. He's had a nice start to the year. I think we'll be seeing a lot more of him in the not too distant future. Obviously, Hyun has changed teams. He's now playing for Team Rokat, and himself doing very well as well. Having joined Team Rokat seems to have his schedule back on track, and likewise giving us quite a show here in Heart of the Swarm. So Habitation Station, of course, this map leaves lots of opportunities for both our players. The high yield expansion, always a little bit of a gamble, a bit separated from the main base, particularly for the Zerg, as the travel distance between the natural and the third is quite extensive. Most of the time we are seeing Zerg go for a much safer base down on the low ground, and that tends to be a favoured strategy, as most Terran and Protoss players will have well executed timing attacks that can really make it difficult for a Zerg player to hold that third, and it's hard enough without adding all the extra travel distance between the natural and the gold yield expansion. Terran, on the other hand, have shown us a number of interesting ploys for quickly securing that gold base, and tend to take it as their third, if not their second base. So a lot of interesting options here for Jjakji here on Habitation Station. We have been seeing a lot of bio play out of Jjakji recently. So many Terran players with the recent patches have started to try and play mech versus Zerg more frequently, and we're seeing quite mixed results with that. You see, well, probably about almost a 50-50 breakdown nowadays of Terran players trying to mech against Zerg, as opposed to the traditional Marine Marauder medevac style strategy. Hyun, of course, has a lot of options here. For those of you who haven't seen Game 1, I didn't cast Game 1, and the reason I didn't cast it, I'm going to tell you, was sheer length. The game was an hour and a half long, so if you want to check it out, the replays are available, and if you're interested in seeing a game that long, let us know, and I will certainly give it a shot. But I thought, rather than spend an hour and a half casting a single game on Heavy Rain, I thought we'd break it down and give you a little bit of a preview of a whole stack of games that took place in the Seat Story Cup. So we'll cast a couple of the games from this Hyun vs Jjakji series, and then move on to a couple of the other series that feature Snoot, TLO, and a few more Jjakji games. So hope you guys enjoy it. Let us know if you have any preferences for games from the Seat Story Cup. If there's any you particularly enjoyed, we'd love to cast some of those. Actually, you see Jjakji going for quite a greedy 3cc opening here, and I think that's a nice choice, but I think you need to be very careful doing that against Zerg players on this map. The distance between the two bases is quite small, and once this third CC is scouted, which it will be by Hyun now, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hyun throw down a Baneling Nest and a Roach Warren and decide to go for a very quick bust, as 3cc tends to be very vulnerable against Roach heavy attacks. As you can see, there's only very limited production. One barracks, which will get its tech lab here for Stimpack, and a few Hellions and Widow Mines will be all that'll defend this inevitable aggression. So, interesting choice by Jjakji. Not one that I wholly agree with, but certainly one that, if he does execute and manage to hold this base, will be of substantial benefit for him. If he can take a quick third base, or even just use this CC as a macro CC for the next couple of minutes, he'll be in an excellent position going into the mid game. If Terran can secure 3 bases unmolested, you can guarantee that life for the next 10 or so minutes as a Zerg player going to be very difficult and macro intensive, as the Terran players tend to do a very parade push style approach to the Zerg third base. And we can see that Roach Warren going down now for Hyun. Along with, there should be a third hatch, is actually being taken up by the gold. So Hyun using 3 queens at creep spread feels quite confident in taking that third base, knows he's going to get his creep across there quite quickly. There are a few Hellions and Reapers out on the map, but my real concern for Jjakji is what he's going to do to deal with this inevitable roach push that's coming along. All the production's been scattered. There is a Banshee on the way, but one Banshee, there is plenty of queens. The lair is actually finished up in the main, so there's going to be plenty of detection, plenty of queens. I don't know that this Banshee's actually going to get a whole lot of work done. May get a few drone kills, but I don't believe Cloak's been researched. Indeed, it has not. So things, I think, going to be a little bit rough for Jjakji in a couple of minutes if he doesn't put some pressure on Hyun very soon. And certainly needs to up his production. We have a few more barracks on the way now, but Jjakji only has a few limited cycles before these roaches start pouring out. We have 3 making their way out, another 2 in production. Is going to take our total up to 7. I think a few popped just before we counted those, and Hyun just going to be producing units like a crazy. Actually going for a nice rush of drones. So not planning to end it with this roach push, but certainly going to be able to put a lot of pressure on Jjakji, particularly when we see just these 3 Marines and Hellions as all it stands between these roaches and defeat for Jjakji. So very interesting choice. Lots of production coming up. Obviously the 3cc is going to fuel a fairly hefty economy for Jjakji, but I'm just super concerned as to how Jjakji plans to play out this game. Hyun going to be able to do a devastating roach push any moment now. Another 7 in production. The lava being... Are those queens attacking the hatchery? Yes, okay. I am switched. I don't know that was Hyun's intention. And I'm a little mesmerized by this at the moment. I apologize, guys. I think Hyun misclicked there. He meant to attack move with them and managed to attack his hatchery. So throwing Jjakji a little bit of a bone there, almost sniping his own lair. But I'm sure he'll recover from that. So not every day you see that. But what we do see here is a massive swell of roaches moving out. We have 24 roaches already on the field. We have more of them in production, another 10, plus 2 upgrades on the way, plus 1 already finished. We have no banelings here, but I really don't think that Hyun actually needs them. There's not enough marauders in this force. A single marauder is all that these units have, or 2 marauders is all that Jjakji has to try and defend this. He's already pulling drones from his high yield base. These roaches just able to muscle their way straight in. Reinforcements streaming across the creek, which by the way is almost on Jjakji's side of the map already, and these roaches barrel in and deny the third base. The question is what's left to defend? 1 bunker with a marauder and 4 marines. It's just not enough to hold off this factory. Really needs to get producing a siege tank. Nothing in production actually for Jjakji, only 4 marines and 2 marauders. Going to be too late for this factory to actually do a whole lot of anything, as these roaches just barrel straight up the ramp and give us a great demonstration why 3cc on a small map is just such a difficult opening to pull off. It was scouted very quickly by Hyun, who is in great shape in this tournament, and Hyun just following up with a very straightforward roach push, but more than able to break the limited defense that 3cc opening gives. So always got to be super careful with that opening Terran plays. Hope you enjoyed it. Nice example from Hyun as to how you can play habitation station out in very quick style. Not going for the longer macro games we often see here, but quick one's a good one, and we're going to move on to the next game in this series. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll catch you in the next cast.